65% of central banks are experimenting with or have already implemented a CBDC, central bank digital currency. What does this mean for you? They say a digital currency will promote financial inclusion, instantaneous cross-border payments, that it's safer, but what are they not telling us? I will go over this upcoming CBDC transition, how it will negatively affect you and your loved ones, and how gold and silver can help you and protect you coming up. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. A couple weeks ago I put out a video about the Federal Reserve confirming the United States will have a CBDC. No longer a rumor, it's happening. They talked about all the positives of a CBDC, but purposefully left out all the negatives. In a couple of minutes, I will go over how gold and silver will protect you. But first, what does a CBDC mean for the average American? A digital currency means total control, not just of every currency unit created, but also nearly every aspect of our lives. With a digital currency, the government will know where every dollar is at any moment thanks to blockchain. Payments can be restricted on anyone at will. It will be impossible to counterfeit, and it allows the government to tax any and all transactions. It's every supreme leader's wet dream. Sure, having a digital wallet in which only you can access is nice in terms of security. No longer will you need a safe to store stacks of cash, and you wouldn't have to worry about someone stealing your cash, as your digital cash will be stored on the cloud in which only you can access. Instant transactions nearly anywhere in the world is great, but one has to think of the sinister motives behind the change. Jerome Powell said the US CBDC will work in conjunction with the US dollar, the physical currency, but we don't know what the ratio will look like, nor do we know how long they will keep the physical US dollar around before dumping it and switching entirely to the US CBDC. The end goal is 100% digital currency, 100% control. How can I say this for certain? Why else would the government want to move to a digital currency? They tell us it's for our own safety, but if they were really worried about keeping us safe, why would they sit back and allow looting and rioting of our cities and small businesses? Why would they give subsidies to big pharma as they pump drugs into our neighborhoods? Is any of it for our safety? As flawed as our physical dollar is now, and trust me, I'm no fan, it's still anonymous. I can still make a purchase without people knowing what I bought. No, I'm not purchasing illegal things, but they don't need to know what I'm doing with my own currency. Once we have a digital currency, no purchase with it will be anonymous. If you're unconvinced with my logic here, why would the United States transition to a digital currency when physical cash works just fine? The answer is taxes. To collect as much in taxes as possible. This nation and its people went to war with England in 1776 over a 3% tax rate and taxation without representation. Now, we as a people are allowing a minimum of a 10% tax on our wages and a tax on nearly everything in existence. And they want more. Biden wants to give the IRS $80 billion and more authority in the next 10 years to target tax evasion. A CBDC ensures that no transactions slip through the cracks. Many people will say they simply won't participate in the US CBDC. Best of luck to you. But you underestimate the government's methods to get people to participate. First, they will ask you. When you refuse to transition, they will bribe you. Look at what states like California are doing with the COVID jab. Get the jab between now and June 15th, you're entered into a daily raffle with a grand prize of $1.6 million. How will they bribe you with a digital currency? They can ask you to turn in your physical cash within a certain time period, and you'll get twice the amount in digital currency. The same goes for those who turn in hard assets. Maybe they'll give you 15 times the value in digital currency if you turn in your gold. This is exactly what I was describing in my last video on gold confiscation. The next gold confiscation won't look like the last one. They will make it seem so enticing, you'll feel like an idiot if you don't do it. Free digital cash will be everywhere. After all, what does it cost them to create an infinite digital dollar? Nothing. Failure to comply with these will eventually be met with fill in the blank penalty. If a CBDC is implemented in the United States, I imagine that even I will be using it at some point, but only for the basics, for those in which I already use a credit card now. Now that you can see what they want to do to collect more taxes, imagine what they are able to do once they have that control. They do it now, but to a lesser extent. With the digital dollar, they can tax you and withdraw your money from your account at will. How many of you had stimulus checks dumped into your bank account? Imagine how fast they can take it out. A digital currency would be trackable. Any and all transactions would be on a ledger. Are you leaving a tip at the restaurant? Now it's taxed. Are you paying the kid down the street to mow your lawn? That payment is taxed. Maybe even giving a few bucks to a friend as a loan or paying them for a purchase they made. These are all trackable and, most importantly, to the government. Taxable transactions in a cashless society. In a cashless society, banks and governments have full control over your funds. The institutions who rule over your funds can lock or freeze them because ultimately you have zero control. In Canada, if you don't pay your child support, you have a hold on your DMV so you can't renew. In America, they garnish your wages. To some people, these seem like reasonable actions. To others, these are actions of a government overreaching. Those who see it as overreach also see it as a slippery slope and know what governments are capable of doing to their citizens and the citizens of other countries. You don't have to believe me, just look at history. Look at what's happening now. Eventually, your identity will be tied with the digital currency, much like China's social credit system. A government program to regulate its citizens' behavior based on a point system. Didn't work out today? Now you have to walk to work. Do you have a traffic violation? Your points are down. Some people with a bad social credit have been barred from buying airplane or train tickets. Good luck leaving the country. Students have been denied entry into the universities because of their parents' bad social credit scores. Imagine if you upset the current administration of the United States. Maybe you liked a meme on Instagram that was funny to you, or you purchased something they deem bad. Funds frozen. Are you smoking a cigarette? Here's a smoking tax for you. I talk about stacking gold and silver, but people often ask, how will gold and silver help me when we are all heading to a digital currency? If everyone is forced to use this digital currency, what is the point of stacking gold and silver? Well, gold and silver gives you options, whereas if you had zero tangible assets and just a central bank digital currency, you have next to no options to get out from under their control. You can sell your precious metals at any time for their digital currency if you had to. I don't endorse people doing this, but one does have that option. It wouldn't surprise me if they placed a heavy tax on the sales of precious metals once they initiate a new digital currency. In most states, a precious metals tax exists. I wouldn't be surprised if this is expanded and the percentage is increased. Gold and silver is outside their system. These metals are anonymous, they are rare, and they are valued. You can trade these precious metals for other assets, assuming you find another like-minded individual who recognizes the significance and the value behind precious metals. In an era where you're relying on the government to keep your account open so you can buy food, it's nice having something outside their system to keep that option open to you. They can't freeze your physical gold and silver. This is why it's also important to become self-sufficient, but that's a topic for another day. Knowing the negatives might get people to think differently and wonder what they can do to stop it. They say that we're given a choice and they want to hear from us. So let them hear your voice. Keep it civil and coherent and let them know that you are displeased with the United States central bank digital currency. Maybe if they receive enough negative feedback, they will drop the thought altogether. If you're interested in other topics like this one, check out the other videos I have on my channel discussing these metals and how they can help you preserve and protect your wealth. If you made it this far in the video, you guys and gals are my super stackers, and I really appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.